My name is Xenios, Xenophontos. I work for DG Justice, unit dealing with consumer enforcement and redress. And responsible, this is the business unit responsible for the development of the online dispute resolution platform. I would like to start by, well, I'll divide my presentation in three parts. I will first describe a bit the legal framework. Then I will move on to the multilingual dimension of the platform and then finish by outlining the challenges that we face for the multilingual dimension of the platform, and as well as how you can help us how you can help the platform deliver. So we have two legislative instruments. The first one is the directive on consumer alternative dispute resolution, and the second one is the regulation on online dispute resolution. What is important to note here is that these two legislative instruments are interlinked and complementary. So the proper implementation of the ODR regulation, which is the legal basis for the establishment of the platform, cannot function without the proper transposition of the ADR directive by the member states. So what does the ADR directive do? The ADR directive is threefold. Member states, first of all, have to ensure that consumers have access to alternative dispute resolution, means out-of-court solutions for contractual disputes in all market sectors. Second of all, it establishes binding criteria that have to be met by these out-of-court bodies. And thirdly, it imposes information obligations on traders. As I said, the ODR regulation is the legal basis for the establishment of the platform, and this obligation is set on the Commission. All the ADR bodies that I have described before that have to be put in place by member states have to be notified to the Commission, and they are translated by us and then connected to the platform. That's where the link between the two legislative instruments comes in. So what disputes are we talking about? We're talking about disputes concerning contractual obligations stemming from sale of goods or services between a consumer and a trader, a consumer living in the EU and a trader established in the EU, through the intervention of an dispute resolution body which can impose a solution, propose a solution, or bring the two parties together to find an amicable solution. And the directive respects the diversity that exists in the member states as to the procedures that are followed by the dispute resolution bodies. The scope of the ODR regulation is the same, with the difference that we're talking about only online sales of goods or services. Now we will move on to the multilingual dimension of the platform. It's provided for in the regulation, which states that the Commission has to provide for all the translation functions of the platform, as well as to make the platform available in all the EU official languages. So we started working on the development of the platform a few months after the legal text has been stabilized after the institutional negotiation. So we've set up an expert group comprised of experts from member states on online dispute resolution and alternative dispute resolution, and we launched the platform. We made it accessible to the public on the 15th of February this year, so it's a relatively new instrument. It assists, as I described before, consumers and traders resolve their disputes in 4 simple steps. You fill in a complaint form that is available on the platform. The two parties agree on the competent national dispute resolution body. The platform automatically sends to the ADR body the complaint. ADR body takes it. It either can deal with it on the case management tool that we offer free for charge on the platform, or they can extract the case and deal it within in their own way. And then after a certain period of time that is also provided in the legislation, after 90 days, of course this varies in member states and per ADR. There is an outcome which can be binding on the parties, which can be a proposal, which can be a recommendation, and there is obligation of these bodies to upload the outcome on the platform and inform the bodies about their decision. So the platform is accessible on desktops, laptops, smartphones. So if you have internet access, which I am sure you have in this room, you can either type the URL of the platform, as you see. I hope it's clear enough on the slide, or just type ODR platform on Google, and it will be the first result that you will see. So we have three categories of translation, let's say, that we have to deal with on the platform. First of all, we have the static pages. I'm going to show you some examples later on the slides. Drop-down menus available in the complaint form, the user guide, the list of dispute resolution bodies, frequently asked questions, and all this material we have drafted, us as the business unit in English. We have sent it to the DG team, the edit team. They have edited it in order to be legible for web content. And then we've given the material we've drafted to the DGT to be translated in all official languages of the EU. Then we have incorporated into the platform, we connected the two systems with the machine translation MT-ADC, as it is commonly known, which is used in order to facilitate parties in the dispute to talk with the alternative dispute resolution body in case the dispute concerns cross-border disputes, contractual disputes. And then we have the human translation for the outcome of the dispute resolution body, because the outcome of the dispute resolution body is the most important document in the whole procedure. We have a memorandum of understanding with the Center of Translation in Luxembourg, where if one of the parties requests, so they can have a translation of the outcome of the dispute resolution body in the languages they want, and they can have that. They can make that request once. So, as explained before, here you see the list of dispute resolution bodies that are connected to the platform. Once we receive them by the member states, we translate them in all official languages, and we upload them on the platform. Here, of course, it's by alphabetical order, so you can see the Austrian dispute resolution bodies, but you can choose the country, and you can see which dispute resolution body has been established in the country of your interest. Also, this is an example of the static pages, where we explain what the platform does, what is alternative dispute resolution, what is online dispute resolution, and this is, of course, static text that exists in all official languages, and, of course, on the bottom left side of the web page, you can choose the language in which you wish to see the information in. And, of course, this is the pre-translated field of the complaint form. It is a drop-down menu where the complainant, the consumer, can choose what is the problem they are facing with, if it's goods or services, and we have level 1, level 2, and everything is based on a commission recommendation in order to collect the relevant data as well. All the material that the DGT translated were fed into the machine translation, the MT-ADC, in order to make it better, in order to for consumers and traders and dispute resolution bodies to be able to communicate better with them, and especially if they don't talk the same language. And this brings me to the use of the MT-ADC on the platform. Which is mainly used for free text fields. There's a free text field available on the complaint form. when the complaint form is transmitted to the trader and the trader does not speak the same language as the consumer, there's this translation button where they can translate the description of the complaint as inserted by the consumer in their own language so they can understand what the complaint is about. And also, the machine translation helps the communication between the parties once the case has been transmitted to the dispute resolution body. The dispute resolution body can request additional information, either documents that are missing in order to be able to deal with the case, and then they can request that information from the parties, with the parties having a possibility, of course, to translate the request in case they do not speak the language of the ADR body. From the data we have so far, we can see that in the past, let's say, 8 months that the platform was launched, we had 32 documents that were submitted for translation, 1,112 free text fields, and 3 requests for translation of the outcome of the dispute resolution body. Of course, these numbers do not reflect the feedback forms that we receive, because not everybody fills in the feedback form. So we are reliant on the data we receive from our development team. On average, from the feedback form, we see that the users of the platform are satisfied with the machine translation that is incorporated into the platform. Of course, that differs per language pair. Some language pairs offer better translations, some others don't. The multilingual challenges we face with the platform is that we have more than 500 language pairs, and when the legislation will enter into force in Iceland and Norway, we'll have more language pairs. The focus here is on quality. We need glossary database, so ADR, ODR relevant language that will train the machine in order to be able to give better results in the specific sectors. We have the challenge of the misspellings or typos when a consumer enters a free text field. Maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're angry, or they want to fill in the complaint form as soon as possible. There might be errors or mistakes that will affect the translation that will be delivered by the machine translation. Also, we have the impact of use of mixed languages within a free text field. Someone might type 2 different languages, and the machine, being a machine, might not be able to understand the source language, and then the translation to the target language might be not something that someone can understand fully. And also, we have the type of language that is used. The machine translation for now uses data from legal text that we have within the Commission. So the nature of the translation, it's, let's say, more legalistic or more formal, and that comes into contradiction with the language that an everyday consumer uses to describe a complaint. So why am I here? We need to improve the machine translation in order to help to the proper functioning of the ODR platform. During our meetings with the ODR and ADR experts that helped us with providing feedback for the development of the platform, we requested ADR, ODR relevant material. That might be outcomes of ADR bodies or user manuals, frequently asked questions, and the preference is that these data would be multilingual. When we saw that that was not forthcoming, we asked only for monolingual data as well that could be fed into the machine translation in order to make the quality better. So if you could approach a ombudsman, ADR bodies within your member states, that they can have relevant material that could help the machine translation to improve, so as to help the proper functioning of the platform, that would be great. All the material can be sent to our functional mailbox, which I forgot to to mention here. But this is my email address, which you can contact me, or and I will provide you with all the relevant information you need to know about this. Thank you very much. I hope I haven't been too confusing, because it's the legal framework between the platform is very restricting, because the workflow that the platform has to follow has been enshrined in a regulation. So we didn't have much leeway for maneuver in the way we designed the platform. And of course, taking into account the limitations that the machine translation can have in certain sections of the platform. I'm happy to take any questions you might have on the presentation, and thanks for your attention.